Hey everyone, you've got your burlap on your Scarecrow mask now. Now we're gonna paint this thing. This is kind of where the magic happens, right? If you don't have a lot of a painting experience, don't worry about it. It's pretty simple and I'll help walk you. You'll be able to do it. Things you're gonna need, obviously your mask that you've already started, some water in a container, maybe something to mix some paint on. I'm just using like a lid of a to-go container. You need, I like these kind of brushes. They're just like a foam brush. And then I get a 1/2" chip brush. Not expensive brushes. 49 cents, I don't know, 49 cents, whatever. Mainly you're gonna need 2 browns, 1 black, and 1 white, and a little bit of yellow. I've got more than that here. It just depends on what you wanna do. Like I said, black, 2 different colors of brown. This is almost, I mean, it's a pretty dark brown. It's a real, I think they call it Tierra, burnt umber, Tierra something. So, pretty dark brown. This one's called raw sienna, black. I got a little bit of white and then some yellow. Every once in a while I mix in a flesh tone. I kind of like that sometimes. That works out nice. Get yourself a couple rags so you can kind of wipe brushes off as you go. Wear some clothes you don't have to worry about. And what else? For this one I grabbed a Lazy Susan. That's just gonna make it easier for me to show you what's going on. You don't have to have one because you'll be working in front of your mask and you won't have to turn around and show people what you're doing. But for my purpose, I wanted y'all to see, so I'm gonna go ahead and just keep spinning that thing around. That's about it. So I'm gonna get started by putting together some paint here. I'm gonna take my dark brown. Just gonna put some right there on my thing. I'm gonna take some lighter brown. Just clean it up there a little bit. Put some there. Put some black right here. Alright, now. I usually like to do washes. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a couple more cups and I'm going to split this water into a few smaller ones that we can make some washes. We'll do that now. So add that to your list. A few more containers for mixing some paint. Just gonna put a little water in this one, a little water in this one, a little water in this one. Okay, I'm going to add some dark brown to that container. I'm gonna mix it up, see what it looks like. Check it out, it's brown. Yay. I'm gonna add a little bit more brown. You want it to be a wash, so you want to be able to see through it still. What this is gonna do is this is gonna sink into some of the detail and kind of give you more depth to your mask and just, you know, give it some more detail. It's gonna go in between those cracks and it's gonna soak into the mask a little bit, so it's gonna be dirty. So I usually like to take my rag around with me as I go and wipe off excess that I don't want to actually remain on the mask. So what I'm gonna do this wash real quick, and I'm gonna try to stick to the lower areas. I'm gonna leave the higher areas a little bit alone. You're just bringing out the definition by going over the areas that would be darker. So obviously the top portions of wrinkles, leave those alone. The deeper the crevices and around the eyes and inside the mouth are gonna be darker. You can apply paint that way. See how dark it is? Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and clean that up just a little bit, like that. And now it doesn't look quite as extreme. So like I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and come in these areas, right where folds are. I'm gonna draw that color out a little bit into some of the other areas, just to give your mask some more depth. And this can be really dirty and really quick, because think about it. You know, who made this mask, right? Some farmer who just had junk left over and decided to go ahead and make a mask. Of course, it could be, you know, the other guy from Batman, and then, you know, he probably took a little more time on it because he wanted it to be really scary. You see what's happening? You're starting to draw some of the making areas push lower by painting them, and the other areas are popping out. So that's what I'm going to do for this whole mask. And I'm going to come around this side so you can see a little better. What you're doing is just exaggerating the detail that's already there. Alright, can you see how this dips in like this and like that? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add color to right there. So it'll pull this center area up and push that down. Okay, watch. See that? I'm just going to soften it up a little bit. That's it. Keep going. Now you want to spread the color out a little bit because this is just your brown and you're going to add black later. And if you just go from burlap color to straight black, it's going to look dumb. So you've got to get some of that brown bleeding out and looking like it's a nice smooth transition, or it's going to look ridiculous. Now, depending on how far down you want your pieces to go, make sure you paint down that far. I'm going to be cutting right about here, so I'm only painting down to this area. Add a little more paint, a little more water. Just keep going. What I like to do is I like to dirty right around the rope area. Think about it, when it rains, it's going to take that dirt and dust on the top of the Scarecrow's head and pull it down, and it's going to rest right there where that rope is. Okay, so I would get around that rope area pretty dark and dingy. Alright, so after you've done the first time, you're going to notice that it's going to get going to soak in, and it's not going to be as strong as when you first put it on, which is fine, which is actually good. And then we're going to go back over, we're going to make the color a little darker. Go back over it again this time. You want to bring that line in a little bit. So like, you know, maybe you made a wide stroke this time, you're going to bring it in like this. So you're going to slowly build to a darker and darker black. So I'm going to take a little bit of black on my brush here. Just going to grab it right off that palette, throw it in the water. I'm going to grab a little bit of the brown. I'm going to grab a little bit of this lighter brown. Throw it in there just for, just to add a little bit more realism. And I like using different colors because things aren't just one color. They're made up of many. You got to make sure you represent other colors or it will look flat. You need to think about it like this. You know, each one of these browns is a different time that this mask got dirty, right? Over time. And the mask isn't always going to get dirty in the same way each time, right? Because different things are going to happen to it at each time that it gets dirty. So you just think about that as you go along. You don't have to recover all the same exact areas. Just bring out areas more and more that you want to kind of show as you work it. Now I'm going to move more towards a black. And as I go, that paint is getting thicker and thicker, and it's going to affect your mask more and more each time. So you do need to be more precise as you move along, but no worries, you're going to be fine. Sometimes I add just a little bit of modeling here and there just to break up the surface a little bit. Put a little bit of light brown in here. I'm going to use this brush now. Now I'm going to go back in and I'm going to pull out some of those higher areas by painting them a lighter color, so that way it forces them to come out at you, okay? So if you see my fingers, see how this is the lighter part? See how it looks like it's sticking out at you? And see as it falls away, it gets darker. So we're going to try to make those lighter areas. So don't add water for this. It's almost dry brushing. Just make sure there's some paint on there, but not a lot. You just want to brush across those high areas. What I like to do is go ahead and rub it in a little bit with your finger. It'll give a nice blending, and yeah, that's what I like to do. I like to blend it with my hand because why not? It's more fun that way. Get in there and get dirty, right? If you find that an area is getting too strong, add a little bit of water and wipe it off with your towel. We're almost done, okay? I'd give it a few minutes to kind of dry, maybe like 10, because acrylic paint, if you add more acrylic paint before it's dry, the colors just mix. On my last coat, I'm going to do white, and I want it just to hit on just the very top areas, the point of the nose, the top of the folds, just right there at the very top of things, just to add a highlight. You have to be very careful not to overdo it, or it looks overdone. If you find it's too strong again, spray a little water or get your rag wet and and just rub it and get it out. But here's what it looks like so far. It's dark inside the creases, and as it comes out of those creases, it becomes lighter and lighter. And it's okay if you leave some of the original burlap. I like that. Unpainted, I think that's good. All right, so we're gonna do this highlight part now, okay? All right, so for this one, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do almost a complete dry brush. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add some white to that light tan. That light tan should almost be just a little bit left in that container, right? So I'm just gonna add some white. So when you kind of mix that together, it's gonna be a light, really, really light brown. It's almost gonna look like toasted marshmallow, right? And that's pretty light on screen, but it's almost kind of a toasted marshmallow, right? And I'm just gonna brush real lightly over the top of the surfaces that I want to be white. All right, you ready? Watch. What I'm doing is I'm blending a little bit and also taking some of the paint off so it's not so extreme. It doesn't look fake. It just looks like a higher part on the person's face. See how it just pulled those wrinkles out and made them more defined? So you're just going to go through and you're going to do that in a couple places until you're happy with it. And that's it. And look at a person's face. You see where all the highlights are? Up here. On the nose, across the forehead, top of the cheekbone, top of the ears. Not that you have ears for this, but you get what I'm saying. You want to lighten the places that need to be lightened. Next, we're gonna take black, almost straight black, and we're gonna go in and hit those really dark places around the eyes, deep in the folds, and places that it needs to be dark. Take my black. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fade that down into the cheekbone so it's not a black line. Like that. Got it? All right, now I'm going to do under the nose. Do the same thing here. I'm going to try to just fade that out a little bit so it's not a harsh line. Now I might go back into a few of the really, really dark crevices where I think some black might happen. So, and this is up to you where you want to go with that. All right, so that's about it. That kind of wraps up painting. Pretty simple, really. It's a lot of kind of washes and just wiping it out and getting rid of the excess paint. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the painting part. I like it a lot. It's something that I've always done and love to do. Go ahead and paint away and have fun, and let me know how it's going. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. Thanks. Coffee break. Out.